I played Daggerheart. A few weeks ago, I ran it and talked about it here, and last week I got to play it. I was DM'd by the wonderful Nico DeGallo. As a game master, player, and TTRPG designer, I have thoughts about the gameplay, the Nightwalker Rogue being a fairy and a werewolf, but before that happens, introductions. Hey folks, my name is VJ Harris. My pronouns are they, them, he, him, and something funny. I'm a full-time tabletop role-playing designer and professional game master. You might recognize my name from things such as MCDM Productions, Arcadia, Flea Mortals, or An Elf and Nor Cat Little Baby, volumes 1 through 4. Okay, introduction done, let's get back to it. This is Fig Grove. Now, before I give you any other information, let me show you a reenactment of part of the final boss battle for the one-shot. As you make your way deeper and deeper into the cavern, you hear chanting in a different language, a cacophony of voices growing louder and louder as you approach. Rounding the corner, you see, all the way on the opposite side of this cavern, two hooded figures stand before an altar, a swirling portal growing larger and larger by the second behind them. And between you and them, 9 cultists patrolling the area, and raised up slightly off the ground, 10 more surround a ritual rune circle. Are there shadows where the 9 around the rune circle are? Yes. Cool. I'm gonna mark a stress and activate Shadow Stepper. Okay, you step into the shadows near you and your party members and appear beside one of the rogue cultists. Cool. I'm cloaked, so now I'm gonna use my dagger and get sneak attack. 20 with hope. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, that's 12 damage. Okay, this guy is still up, but he is very fucked up. Okay, and if no one has a problem with it, there's one more thing I'm gonna do. I'm going to fly into the air, but stay in very close range, and then I'll cast Rain of Blades, and that's a critical. Yeah, that'll hit. 14 damage. That killed them all. Fig Grove was a fairy Nightwalker rogue from a Slyborn community. I know, not really imaginative, but it was a one-shot, so character-wise, I did phone it in just a little bit. There were 3 other people in my party, a Ribbit Sorcerer, a Simia Guardian, and a Halfling Bard. We walked into a town where there were supposed to be cultists, talked to some weirdly named people at a bar, Slafter, Hokey Pokey, William and Billiam, to name a few. A fight broke out, I transformed into a werewolf, killed a bunch of people, and proceeded to use my mandibles to nibble off their faces because I needed 300 faces as part of the initiation into the Many Faces Assassin Guild. After intimidating the sole survivor, we were brought to the cavern where I obliterated like 10 guys. That was dramatized. I hit the first guy, then waited for the others to take their turn, then finished them all off. This fight was a countdown fight. After we rolled with fear 4 times, the portal would be opened. Between all of us, we finished off the lead cultist, stopping the ritual right as 4 fear was rolled. Now that I've ran it twice, I'm running it as a paid game right now as well, and played it, I feel like I've got a much more rounded view on the game. But I'm going to talk about the player side of things before looking at the bigger picture. As a player, I love this. Outside of picking my ancestry, class, subclass, and community, I just used what was suggested in the character sheets. Those sheets are excellently designed. It made it really easy for me to fill everything out quickly, and the character questions were great and helped flesh out our party's relationships, which was useful even for a one-shot. We were playtesting transformations, and as just a player and not as a designer, there wasn't anything I would change about how that went. I was a werewolf, so when I got hurt, I marked a stress and transformed. The extra D10 to attacks and damage were supreme, no notes, I love it. And the drawback of marking stress whenever I got hope instead was really great. It kept the tension up for the inevitable moment I ran out of stress and lost it. I chose Rain of Blades and Pick and Pull as my 2 domain cards. Pick and Pull didn't get used at all, but Rain of Blades was clutch. I wiped out guys in the bar fight and the final cultist fight, all because of that ability and good rolls and being a werewolf. The 2 experiences that I had were a friendly face, so I was good at putting people at ease and getting information, which I did use to de-escalate the tensions in the bar before a companion kicked off a bar brawl, and slip into shadow, which I didn't actually use. Not much use for that when I can just teleport in and out of shadows, at least not for this one shot. Overall, as a player, I give it an A+. Okay, now for the designer part of my brain. Honestly, the only thing I would really like to see changed is how the werewolf transformation works. Here are my thoughts that I did share in the playtest feedback form. Let me become a werewolf at will. I get the vision of just having a transformation in a dangerous situation where you're taking damage, but I think marking 2 stress to get into it without getting hurt would make sense mechanically, and it draws you even closer to the lashing out aspect. Let me go back to myself. So the only way to get out of being a werewolf is to mark all of your stress and then rampage, and then you drop out of it. Now, this one I'm less gung-ho about. The first and last one though, I'm like, yeah, do it. My GM allowed me to roll an instinct roll to get out of it. If I was running it, I'd allow it to be like temporarily suppressed perhaps. Why can't I heal? Werewolves being able to heal themselves is found in most pop culture references to werewolves, unless they're hurt by like silver or specific types of plants. And I think as they move forward with designing the werewolf, there should be an option to heal. The way I would handle this is twofold. First, I would turn transformations into 3-tiered abilities: foundation, specialization, mastery. The base stuff would be the foundation, the healing would be the specialization, and I don't know what the mastery would be. Second, obviously it would cost stress to heal, and if you took magic damage, you would get some type of condition which prevents you from healing, and you'd need to clear it before you can heal again. Okay, one final thing before I let y'all go. So as I said, I've ran Daggerheart twice now, and I'll be running it a bunch moving forward. I added a loose initiative tracker in my game, or well, the Thursday game. I just had the players roll a d12 and put the results in a tracker. I know that Daggerheart is initiativeless, but I also know my players, and some of them would have a hard time jumping in without a little bit of structure. I can't tell you how useful it is thus far, because the first combat we did ended pretty quickly, but I feel like it'll do its job, at least until my players are more comfortable. But that's it for now, folks. See you in the next one. Peace out.